Farm4Profit podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm4Profit podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm4Profit podcast.
Well, hey, listeners, welcome back to the Farm for Profit podcast. You got Tanner and Corey here.
It feels like it's been a while since we recorded.
It kind of does.
Like 10 days, maybe.
It
Although
does.
you've been in here since you're Fancy Pants
Fancy
multi-podcaster. Are you what would be the word for that?
Podcaster.
Poly-podcaster?
No, because Jesus.
Polygapod?
You know what? We love our listeners.
We do love our listeners.
Today's listener review is powered by Steinbauer USA.
Whoa. So if it's powered by them,
It's outstanding.
it's what is it, like 25% more?
It has to be.
That's awesome.
So these are like 5.25 stars.
Yeah, that's how we get rid of the low stars.
We bring everything up. But
Who are you going to pick? You got a list of
yeah, a
them.
whole list. Look at how many people love us.
Wow.
This is great. Let's do Dave Howard right at the top.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
Since Steinbauer is outstanding, Dave Howard from Spotify also told us that we are outstanding.
Just one word.
That was it. That's all it takes.
Yep.
We don't care what they type.
Nope.
5 stars. That's what matters.
And that's a good word. Outstanding.
I like that. A Farm for Fun episode. We haven't done one of these in studio for a while.
Ooh. You got yourself.
Not on my glasses this time.
Nope. No. You've learned which way to point it. So
That's right.
good.
So
Yep.
I pointed it at you.
Yep.
But yeah, this is going to be a little bit of fun for us
Let's do it.
because we got an in-studio guest.
Yes. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
This is a new song.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to drop for
Probably not. Should I just start?
launch into it.
Ooh, is there words in this? Oh, it is going to drop. Today on the Farm for Fun show, we are back live in studio, and we got one of our original fans and friends of the podcast, and she is here in studio. This woman is a first-generation Iowan transplanted from a dairy background in New York, upstate New York. Although originally from New York, she seems to fit in the Midwest nicely as she's a big Packers fan. Drinks Busch Light.
Yes.
Loves Ag. Her full-time gig, which we cannot talk about. She's from the government, and she's here to help. Somewhere in southeast Iowa. Please welcome one of the peeps that has been with us since the beginning, Miss Jules Wisner.
Yeah, buddy.
Hi, guys.
High five. Woo! I don't get a high five people usually.
You know the other cool part about having in studio is I can actually professionally fade out the intro music.
As long as you're doing the right channel and not like fading someone else out. Like,
But you know how like,
professional.
our
Yeah,
ears
yeah,
just
yeah.
usually blow out
Oh,
when I
yeah.
start it, and
Yep.
when I end it, it's like just gone.
Yep.
No, we're
Yep.
here. We're home. It's
Yep.
good to be home.
So we got to get right down to business in Jules' dating life.
That's the first order of business.
Obviously.
We have
Jules, Miss Julia.
may or may not, probably not, have gotten her a boyfriend or two before. And
That sounds so
that was my first question. You got a boyfriend or not? So, I mean, this boyfriend obviously listens to the Farm for Profit podcast and found you from us, right?
Ooh.
Obviously. Who doesn't
Obviously.
listen to Farm for Profit podcast?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I already
Anyway,
like this guy. I already approve.
Yeah. I'm going to set these down a second and turn some lights on since Tanner didn't do that.
I don't know if we needed him, but you can fire it up. Go right ahead. You'll be all right. Okay, so we need to learn more about this boyfriend.
Okay.
He's good to you,
He is. It's very new.
and he is, well, good. At least everything's going fine around.
still the fine face.
Likes dogs?
Yeah.
Has to.
Yeah. Because I
Almost.
have 2 dogs and he has 2 dogs.
So this will be the
holy
real.
smokes.
This will
Sort
be
of
the
a
real
herd.
test. It is March 21st, and this show isn't going to come out for almost 2 months.
See if we made it through planting or
So-
not. That's the.
What's this guy's
Yeah.
name? What's this guy's name?
His name's Reed.
Reed. All right, we got Reed. 2 months. Can you make it 2 months, Reed, or will it be no one, or will it
And
be
you
someone
know-
else?
You know, Reed, Reed, how you're going to let us know is you're going to have to leave us a 5-star review. And in the comment being like, this is Reed.
She left me. That's good.
Oh boy.
You know, I color balanced the cameras before we started today. It was all special, and I still don't think that we made her as red as you are.
I am red from being outside in the wind the last 2 days putting anhydrous on. And I got blasted more than I ever have this morning. It took my breath away all the way. And I wasn't in a place where I could just get away from it really fast.
Yeah.
That sucked. It was like that canister of smelling salts.
Yes.
Like I ate it.
That was funny. So he talked about the other podcasts that I've been recording in our studio, and she was a little sluggish, the co-host, and I pulled it out, and I said, just take a smell of this. Without, it was kind of mean of me to do this. So if we got YouTubers, I'll pull it out, but she takes a whiff, and she goes, what am I smelling? She'd like full nosed it.
Oh,
that poor girl.
She deserves it though.
Let's see if I can get this out of here.
Are we gonna make Jules smell it? Have you ever smelled anhydrous?
We should.
No.
No.
It's called the Atomic Rhino.
Don't just put your nose up to it. But oh yeah, that's what I've been smelling.
Nothing illegal.
What's it supposed to do?
It's wake
Get
up.
you amped up.
Oh, that's close enough.
So
Here.
this is what anhydrous ammonia smells like.
I smell
You're
ammonia.
you're going to
Sure
fill the
does.
room.
But
Use it to clean
people
pig
use
clothes.
that to before they do a big personal record weight lift or kick a long field goal.
Record one of the
My
most fun
allergies
ever.
are killing me, so it was good.
It's
Oh,
great
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic for that.
We do it to bring out the most fun in our Farm for Fun episodes.
Well, I think actually we got it because you were pretty tired a couple times in the early days of podcasting. Because Tanner likes to schedule 5 or 6 in a row, and it's by the 5th or 6th one, it's okay, I've talked enough for the day, So
Yeah.
it's
It's not fair to the guests. We
Yeah.
all got to be on top of our
yeah.
game.
So anyway,
Well, we don't have anything to talk about now. We already figured out she's got a boyfriend.
let's wind her all the
Dating
way
show's
back.
over.
Let's wind her all the way back.
Ooh,
Let's
yeah.
go
To
to
baby-
upstate New York.
Baby Jules.
Little Jules. What was your childhood like?
The family Jules.
Yeah.
I grew up in upstate New York. I like to say the Canada part, not the New York City part.
Yeah, so what is upstate New York? I've heard people talk about that a lot. Is it like the...
I feel like that's where all the people in New York go to vacation.
Right, but is it like Northwest Iowa? It's 6 counties in the corner of the state? Or is it...
So I would consider anything upstate. There's New York City, and then there's the Hudson Valley that they think they're upstate New York, and then I would consider the rest of it upstate New York. Some people like to just say they're from Western New York or Northern New York. I think that's kind of sub-region. So I just consider the rest of it upstate New York. But
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say Northern New York. It's always upstate.
Upstate.
yeah, probably from here. I feel like the closer you get, maybe the more we regionalize it.
Do you think
But
that's an East Coast thing, or is that just a New York State thing? Do people say upstate and other East Coast, Maine,
I don't
upstate
think so.
Maine?
Other than the UP, I think that's the only time they really.
The UP is kind of its own thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? In Michigan, the Upper Peninsula.
Ooh, you got it up.
Why are you whispering?
Oh, I wasn't whispering.
Oh.
I pulled my mic away to take a drink.
It's divided into... New York's divided into several subregions. The Hudson Valley, the lower part, which is sometimes debated as being upstate. So you're up by the Hudson Valley.
Oh no, way far north of
Oh.
the Hudson Valley.
That a girl?
So which
Cool. All
would you
right.
be-
So I completely cut you off.
yeah, yeah.
The
'cause-
Finger Lakes area.
So I am. You see where it where Ontario is, the purple. I'm right. I grew up right in the corner. That one.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
It's Oswego County. So about 5 hours north of New York City and only about an hour and a half south of Canada, Kingston, Ontario. Syracuse is the biggest city
Okay.
that I grew up near, about a half hour north.
Was that the grocery city, or you got some groceries
No,
somewhere
we
else?
had groceries closer, especially as I got older. But
Okay.
yep,
So you grew up there. That's where Baby Jules was.
that's where Baby Jules was. And I don't talk about this a lot. I'm a retired. Only probably a couple of TikToks have mentioned this, but I'm a retired horse girl. I grew up showing horses, quarter horses, mostly hunter jumpers. And my parents raised beef and hogs. And I originally went to college for equine and transferred after my freshman year into ag business.
Where'd you go to college?
Morrisville State College.
Never heard of it.
Is that in New
People-
York?
It is. It's part of the New York State school system.
Got it.
Yeah.
How many did you graduate with in high school?
So it's going to sound like a lot. Like 250.
Holy smokes.
It's like Ballard.
It's a lot of it's a lot of towns put together to
Sounds
make
like
that.
Ballard.
Like the village I grew up, I looked it up today.
It's a village?
I know. I get made fun of. Megan McAllister said she only thought of the
You are part of the village people?
That's what she said the first time I met her. I didn't live in the village. I lived outside. It's like outside of town, but I think the village is like it's like 1,800 or something. So it's a smaller town. We just had a lot of towns put together to make up that school district.
Why is it a village and not a town?
It's just like we have townships too, but the village is like the smaller municipality within it. If you would think of like the 30-mile-an-hour zone, that's the village.
Okay. Okay. What? Okay, Tanner's. Jamie's Googling here.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, what else I pulled from it? What is a hunter jumper horse?
So that would be jumping.
I get the
a
jumping.
course, but it's
Okay.
based on there's two different classes. You can either be based on your form and how you perform or the horse, depending on what your class you're in, versus like what they do in the Olympics is just based on time across the course.
I still don't get
I was
the
gonna
hunting part.
I was gonna make a Biden joke, but I won't
Well,
do that.
Oh, wow.
Because it comes from fox hunting, where they'd be like jumping over logs and things like that.
So it's not like
heavily.
you did the competition riding your wooden horse, because I've seen that to where
No.
they ride their wooden horse and jump over things. I can't believe how high some of them kids jump. Have you seen those videos?
Yeah.
Sorry.
The hunting that I could get to on a horse is the cowboy shooting. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's badass.
That would be pretty cool.
I could do that. Now I just need to do it on like a 4-wheeler. I don't know how to
It
drive a
takes-
horse.
You want a steel horse
Take all the hard part out,
Yeah.
and then Corey can do it.
with suspension.
I can barrel race on a 4-wheeler or a dirt bike.
I think you could do it.
I don't have to feed it hay. Just give it gas when I
God,
want to use it.
we suck at letting her tell her story. She grew up in upstate New York. You graduated with 200 and some kids in your class. You were valedictorian and homecoming queen. And then you went to college in the state school system.
Yeah, something like that about my senior year. I actually graduated a semester early, so I didn't really go to anything my senior year. So it wasn't valedictorian or homecoming queen. But
She would have been if she'd have been there.
and then after college, I stayed close to home and started with the agency that I work with now that Corey made sound like the CIA.
Yeah,
It's not?
It's
it
almost.
could be.
Almost.
It might be.
You'll
Might
never
not be.
know.
Yeah.
To protect all of those.
Yeah.
It will not be named.
I'll probably be arrested after the show.
So I started there about 6 months after college, and still helping out on my parents' small operation, and then decided to start working on a dairy too, all at the same time.
So, the dairy was in the family beforehand or not?
So my parents do direct market beef and pork.
Okay.
The dairy is across town from where I grew up,
Okay.
and then was also working in ag business full time.
You had 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Why? Did you love it that much?
I have a problem with not keeping busy.
Okay.
Read. Take note. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you were working for the dairy. How long after college did you decide I need to go to the Midwest?
I almost moved right after college before I even started.
Really?
with
Why?
the government. And that was going to be I don't know if I should mention it.
You go right ahead.
It was going to be in Nebraska.
Yeah.
So obviously God was looking out for me.
Did you pick
Right?
Nebraska in your bracket?
I didn't fill out a bracket.
Okay.
Dude, I told you, I've been,
That's safer.
my mind has
So
not been
busy.
on.
That's safer than picking Nebraska in your bracket. Sorry. Continue. You almost moved.
Almost moved to Nebraska. That didn't work out, so I started with the agency I work at now. Was in a position there for 4 years, and then moved up and up again. moved about an hour and a half northeast of home, which is like on the edge of the Adirondack Mountains. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No, I've only heard of the deck boards that don't rot. Isn't that what they're called? Or Adirondack?
No, that's
Like
a chair.
Adirondack furniture, yeah.
chair. It's a
Yeah.
chair.
There's lots of that there.
Is that where they were developed?
Yeah, I think so.
Comes from the wood in the
They're on every
Adirondack
deck and-
forest.
Yeah.
They're great to sit in, but they're terrible to get out of.
I like the ones that have the
Do
built-in.
you want your butt this far from the ground?
I want
but
you to
be
spell it.
comfortable?
Can you spell Adirondack?
Adirondack.
A-D.
The acronym is easier. It's just ADK.
80K. Oh,
Okay.
that's good. Back to the Google. A village is a small community in a rural area. A town is a populated area with fixed boundaries and a local government. A city is larger or important town.
So, like, multiple towns could share the same government
Right.
and
They'd be-
municipality.
They'd be villages.
And I mean, at least in New York, our village is a municipality. Like we had a mayor and everything, and like you get a
You did
village
not have
water
a mayor.
bill.
You had a chief.
That's true. It's the wrong wording there.
I'm totally getting.
We do have a lot of
Chiefs?
reservations in New York.
Oh.
A lot.
Huh.
Don't worry. You are not part of a city, which is an important town.
You're not in. Thanks, Google. What the heck?
That's pretty good.
What the heck?
Okay. I feel so bad for our listeners.
You've been all over the place. Okay,
And
you almost moved to Nebraska.
She just now got a promotion.
So you were
at
moving because of
the government.
of a job, basically.
Within New York
Yes.
or to here?
Well, it's from New York to the Midwest.
No. That's everybody always as what's the story behind it? Why did you move here? And I just say I don't have a good story. Like I didn't move for family. I have no family here. I have the same exact job that I had in New York.
So it's
I
not
just
like you
always
moved
wanted
for a
to
promotion.
move. Right.
You just had like a calling.
I just
to the
always
Midwest.
wanted to
She
move to the Midwest.
listened to the
I-
Farm4Profit podcast and went, "That's recorded in Central Iowa.
Yeah, that's where I should be.
I need to be there."
But I mean, did you like the Packers growing up?
Yes, always.
So it was like a calling from a younger age that something was pulling you here.
Yeah, and when I was in collegiate FFA, went to national convention. That was probably the first time I came further than like Ohio, and every trip I wanted to do, I just kept going out here. Every time I got on I-90, which connects to 80, I just always wanted to keep going west. I loved like the flat, the open.
So have you
Love
ever
that.
been further west than Iowa?
Yes.
Nebraska.
Well, she didn't go there yet.
I know she was. Didn't you go out to the golf tournament with us? Or
No.
weren't you out there? I'm thinking of.
But I have gone out to Nebraska a few times.
Oh, you went out that way because of
Yeah.
the connection made
Yeah.
on the podcast.
I went to
That's-
Kansas a
yeah.
couple
Oh, that's
weeks ago
right.
for Cultivating Courage, Whitney Larson's conference. I've been to California. I've been to
I was just giving
California,
you a hard
Texas.
time. You're like the early immigrants that had to blaze their trail westward.
You think I didn't go any further if I just thought Iowa was like
Yeah.
the best?
Absolutely. That's why I don't leave the state.
So yeah, I just always wanted to, and at the time I was like, I'm 28, single, just me and the dog, one dog at the time. It's like if I'm gonna do it, I need to do it now. I was kind of
good idea.
stopping myself from setting roots because I always had this in the back of my head. So
Nice. Can you imagine if you were on the wagon coming west and you wanted to be a farmer and, you know, you got through Indiana and Ohio, Indiana. You're like, that's pretty good. Let's keep going. Illinois, it keeps getting better farmland. If we keep going this way, it's going to be better. And get to Iowa and like, oh my gosh, this is
the
great.
best farmland I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is so good.
This
I
is the
can't wait
best
to get to
farmland.
Nebraska. And then they go into Nebraska and they're probably like, can't grow anything without irrigating. And then you go too far west and it's just like nothingness.
they just went too far. Their horses were too tired. And they
Yeah, and then
couldn't
you can't turn back around.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Just so you know, my question wasn't so off base because in two different surveys, 77% and 72% of people who move to Iowa don't ever leave. So they get here and they are just like that. They're like, this is God's country.
Do you think that's your long-term plan, or are you just here for a little bit?
No, I think it's my long-term plan.
Yes, we kept another one.
People always ask, like, why Iowa specifically, the Midwest? Because I'm only right on the other side of the border from Illinois.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to live on the other side of the river, I'd just be back home. Like, Illinois is just the Midwest New York. So
What's the wall like over there to keep those Illinoisans out?
not
bridge.
tall enough.
What's a bridge?
It's a bridge. Do you ever, what do they call it, skipping the creek at Barclays down there? I know what town she's from. I got a couple buddies down there, but
Skipping the creek?
yeah,
Oh.
like because the Illinois Barclays is at like 3 o'clock, and Iowa's at 2.
never
So
got
everyone
that
would shut the bar down in Iowa and then go hop over there. Maybe it's 4 o'clock, and then get another hour or two of drinking or whatever. Take an Uber over there.
That would like be after my nap. After I went to bed at 10, I'd wake back up.
Right. Can you just imagine shutting an Iowa bar down at this point, at this
No.
age? Like, your next day would be so screwed. Even if you didn't drink. Even if you didn't drink, it's like, I'm
I'd just
so
still
tired.
be so tired. Yeah. No.
You're not wrong.
I know. I know when we do it down, like when we travel, like sometimes there's always a midnight at one of the nights. The conversation's just too good. It's not because we're just out drinking, bar hopping, but the next day sucks so bad. So then the rest of the time it's like, all right, 10 o'clock, we got to go. We got to go in. But we're getting old.
Same. I am behind you, though.
You are.
You are. You're just a baby.
Yeah. How old are you? Can you even say that? Or is that part of the program, the
CIA
government
doesn't
program?
let me.
Yeah.
No, I'm
yeah.
30,
What-
about to be 31.
Nice.
What do they call those? Not alternate identities. When you go into safe.
Alter ego?
No.
Witness protection?
Yes.
Oh.
She's in witness protection for
Yeah.
a government job.
So you got a Cyclone shirt on.
I
Have you
do.
always liked Cyclones, or just because you're an Iowa now?
Just because I'm in Iowa now.
She bought it because I told her
The ag
she had
school.
to.
But you're kind of like on the wrong side of the state. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people give you crap for that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. It's all
You
right.
made a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a good ground to stand.
I almost wore a Syracuse sweatshirt today, but they didn't even make the tournament. I don't. So
They didn't. They
I don't
normally
think so.
always do. I feel like.
Yeah, new coach this year too.
What part of what conference are they in? Anybody know?
SEC?
I don't know if they are. What percentage of Iowa are Iowa State fans?
Well, you can't read it. I got to get me
I
the.
just like to know what you're Googling. 60?
Iowa fans carry approximately 45 to 50% of the support. Iowa State 25 to 30.
I believe that. A lot of bandwagon people.
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa had a great run there, and they still are. But I mean, Iowa State had a very bad run, and Iowa had a good run there in the 80s and 90s.
Syracuse is in the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC.
Ah,
Is that what you asked me?
ACC.
I was-
I asked you that.
Yeah.
I was half
You
listening.
said SEC.
All these acronyms. I want to go back to New York because we butchered your upbringing. And you alluded to the fact that you had horses, and we talked about that. And I applaud you as a recovering horseaholic that you've gotten over your illness. But you said your parents have a direct-to-consumer meat company?
Yeah, so a small operation. They both worked off the farm growing up, but they're actually buying the animal itself because we do it through ag and markets, not a USDA.
So you say that
blocker.
like a they're buying holes and halves.
Wholes,
Yeah,
halves,
Not
quarters
by
too
the
for
cow.
cows.
Yep.
Yep. And so that's what we did because we just don't have the system that we do here to make that work. If you're going to be selling things through sale barn, it's going to be way less profit wise. And that direct market with selling by whole half is kind of that happy medium between not having to deal with the consumer too much where you would if you were, selling pieces out of your freezer or having to go to markets and things like that. But before I left, we raised all of our own calves and we did farrow to finish hogs. And I had my own hogs. I had all purebred Durocs. My dad did Duroc, York, and crosses. Now they've cut back a lot more. They're getting older. Their help left. And they want to be able to travel. So they're still doing it, but they're just finishing out everything.
Brothers, sisters.
I have one older brother.
Okay.
What's he think of Reed?
It's new. He hasn't met him. They all live 1,000 miles away from me.
Well, I just expected you to FaceTime.
Did your
Brother?
brother move away from there too?
No, he lives near Syracuse, so he's a good child. He only is about a half hour away from them.
Gotcha. But he didn't want to go take over the meat.
No, he doesn't work in ag or anything like that. So, yeah. So we'll see. I'm hopeful my parents will be in Iowa part-time somewhere down the line.
Yeah, that's a great place to have a winter home.
Yeah. All of my cousins, like all their brothers and sisters' kids, all moved down south, and then they're the lucky ones that had a kid move to Iowa. It is a lot less
it's not
snow.
too bad.
I was gonna say,
the
yeah,
winters
a lot
we've
less
been
snow.
having,
They're used to snow.
and the winters we've been having, it's like you get winter for 4 weeks.
Yeah, as long as they're not here for the 1 week that's negative 35, they'll be fine. It'll
Yeah.
feel like April.
Does the wind as bad there like it is here?
It's not great at their farm, but in most places we got more of a break. It's rolling hills and
Yeah.
everything.
'Cause
so
that's
it doesn't
normally
get
what really
whipping.
kills it. Like
Oh, yeah.
0 degrees
The
isn't
past
bad
week.
until you
It's
get
the wind
30
in the
mile an hour
winter
winds.
and the humidity in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. It just cuts right through you, hog barns. Yeah. Just
Everything.
throw money out the door to heat stuff. So why do you think that you had this passion to stay in the ag business?
I always loved it. I love being on the dairy. I love being with the hogs. Those would be my top 2 over beef any day. But in the job I have within ag allowed me to be able to be part of both the production side and work with farmers. So kind of I get both ends of it. Here in Iowa, ironically, I'm probably the least involved in production ag than I have been ever because I'm not working on my family's farm or a dairy or anything.
You're
But
still
we're going to get
possibly maybe
Yeah,
employed
there's
by
extra surveillance
yeah,
through your government job.
the CIA of ag.
You can't say that.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe, maybe not.
I'm going to have to take it out of the show notes.
This direct-to-consumer thing that your parents are doing, and are they phasing it out, you think, or just
I don't think so. I think it would be a while
Keep
till
it
they
going.
completely, yeah.
so?
Did you see that Kelly Garrett, GLC Beef, got a new client through referral via Twitter that ordered a half beef?
No,
Oh, that was kind of cool.
was that from us?
We'll
Yes.
say so, yes.
I have probably eaten half of one of Kelly's cows. Not this week, but definitely over the last
Boy.
year. I actually had his beef sticks yesterday for lunch and today for lunch.
Really? How do you still have beef sticks?
They're in the shop. I kept the stash back
You kept
from
the
you. They're expired. So I just give them the old test to see if there's any mold on them or nothing, and they're good to
Get
go.
them a sniff.
They're very good even after they're expired, Kelly.
Hey, that's
That's a 5-star review if I ever heard one.
Yeah, but do you think that I feel like everyone's going that way, which I understand why. Do you think there's a point we could get saturated in that, or there's just so much meat consumed in the
But
world?
you think about it, we were there because that's the only way you bought meat back in the day.
Right.
And then we went away from it,
Yeah.
and now we're starting to come back to it.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think we're overproducing. So if that's the case, you don't oversaturate. It just becomes harder for the consumer to get their product, potentially.
Right.
It may be easier because they could work through some type of program. How
Yeah.
cool of a business would that be if you set the person up with the deep freeze? You came with a package ready. You got a deep freeze that was big enough for half a beef and a whole hog, and that was the package.
You leased the deep freeze.
It's like
You might have to
Beck's.
put it
Like your
It's
router.
like the Becks of beef.
It could be.
It's like I buy this beef and I
put
get
it-
a freezer for free.
You could put it on payments for one low payment of $99.
You sign this
a week.
contract, you buy one beef, you get a freezer, but you got to buy a whole beef for
Every-
3 years.
Yep.
At least or else
Yes.
we'll sue you. Or take your freezer with your beef in it.
We're going to have to send this clip to Kelly. He's probably going to do it.
Yep. Just cut her out.
We'll
Beck's
give
beef.
you credit.
Yeah, I think my parents do it because it's really the only model that really works for them where they're located. Because other types of ag you can do on a different scale, like grain or dairy and things like that. But
The dairy that you worked on, was that the New York Girls Dairy?
it was not. But I do know them.
From social media or from the actual area?
From agriculture itself.
Really?
Yep. I worked with their family's farm when I was in New York.
All right. Before we jump into your connection to us through social media and hundreds of other people, we're going to play a game. And just because
Don't make it suck.
this morning Corey sent me a text message that said, if the true listeners understand what's happening today on the 21st of March, they will understand that Mark Thomas's episode went live.
Uh-huh.
And we played this game with Mark Thomas.
And I have to review all fun shows.
And Corey texted me and he said, Mark's show is good to go, but that game sucks.
It did.
We're going to try one more time.
I
Oh,
was
it's that-
listening this morning. It was like, oh, they said this game sucks. Hopefully they never play it again, and it's not the one I get. Should have known better.
The funniest thing, the funniest thing is we have 4 or 5 comments on Spotify that said that already today, in less than 12 hours of the show being out, that game sucks.
Yes. That's because Dave asked.
It's okay.
Where is Dave? He was
I
supposed
don't
to be
know.
here.
He was supposed to be here. Guy's on my shit list. So, I'm going to give you 3 words, and I folded Corey's paper over, so hopefully he doesn't remember what the words are.
I never looked at it.
Going to give you 3 words, and you have to guess.
What do we call this game?
I don't know.
Large, wet, and heavy game?
All in common.
It's just like the large, wet, and heavy.
You get to ask me one question. I can answer yes or no, each of you. So I'll give you the clues, and then you can say, is it an animal? And I can say yes. Or you can say, is it something from upstate New York? And I can say, I don't know.
Okay, the only way I can make this game better is if I think of inappropriate questions to ask. That's how we'll make
That's
this
the way.
good.
That's how this will work. Okay. Music. Hot chicken. Honky tonk. You got a question. You don't have to just guess.
Is it on a restaurant menu?
No.
Can I use it in the bedroom?
No.
That was 2 questions, Corey. What was the third word? Music, hot chicken.
Honky tonk.
Oh, and this is a thing?
I should probably give. Oh,
We
I
need
could do
categories.
that. It's a place.
Oh.
Person, place, thing.
So
I
now
can
I
do
should
that.
get my...
Nashville?
Yep. What'd you say?
Nashville?
Oh, she already got that. She didn't even need a question. Look at that, Nashville.
So I was going to say Nashville hot chicken. That's why I asked if it was on a... That's why I asked if it was on a menu.
Yeah, this game really does suck. All right, we will go again. This is a thing. Loud, dusty, backseat.
Ooh. Can I use it in the bedroom?
I was going to say tractor pull until you said
You got a
dusty.
question. Ask me a question first.
Or until you said backseat.
Can I use it in the bedroom?
No. You could use it as a bedroom.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not going to be in the bedroom if you're in the backseat.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's in the back seat.
I'll give you another clue. Yellow.
School bus?
Oh, hey, good job.
I didn't
This
even...
game really
This is
does.
That's
such a
all I
great
needed
game,
was yellow.
Tanner.
It's a great game, Tanner.
All right, here's
Everybody just turned off my episode.
last one. Yes. No, one more. Don't leave. One more. This is a person. Big white teeth. Suit.
Steve Harvey?
Oh, she didn't even need the second clue.
She already looked at it.
No,
probably.
I didn't.
Okay, we'll never play the game again.
New Yorkers are cheaters.
Survey says no more game. Maybe that. Can we just play Family Feud?
We should.
There we go. I could do that. Everyone can get behind that.
I like that.
Next up, Tanner.
Okay, you jumped on to which social media platform first?
Oh. Like besides Facebook and MySpace? MySpace was definitely the first.
Okay. I don't think I ever had a MySpace account. Did you have a
Really?
MySpace account?
Oh yeah,
I used MSN Messenger a lot.
did that a lot. And well,
Not
AOL.
AIM. Yeah.
No.
AOL.
I didn't have very many friends. Still don't.
BRB.
Away messages.
TTL. TTYL.
Yes. What was the parents one? POS, parent over shoulder?
I don't think I ever did that.
That must have just been
And the
MSN
parents are probably
thing.
like, piece of shit. What, this is not good.
Get grounded.
Yeah.
You're grounded. Don't be talking about this. And then you migrated and discovered TikTok.
Yes.
Would you say that's the app that you've made the most connections through?
Oh, for sure.
Even more than MySpace and AIM and whatever you just talked about?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
I can't believe you didn't have a MySpace. You didn't have the top 8 people, your top 8 friends.
And your anthem song.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You could draw
and then
things
you had
on
to,
our
you had
wall.
to. If someone pissed you off at school, you had to go home. Like, you're not in my top 8 anymore.
Yeah.
You kick them out.
Fuck
I have
you.
no idea. No.
Oh yeah, it was a big clicky thing.
Man.
And everyone had to be friends with. Was it Tom?
That's Facebook at first.
Wasn't there one on MySpace too? Like there was that guy. He was always in your top 8.
Maybe it was MySpace.
Cruz?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Tom was the maker.
Yeah,
of,
you're right. It was
of
MySpace.
and he was always in your top 8.
Man, I already don't like MySpace. So when did you jump on TikTok?
Spring of 2020.
The birth of the Farm4Fun podcast.
I can imagine what it was like at TikTok corporate when everybody jumped on it February and March of 2020. Like if they had a little
Overload.
ticker of new users, it was just probably rolling as fast as the national debt ceiling counter goes.
It was so great because they didn't have their. It was clear that they didn't have their shit together enough to,
Monitor.
monitor the algorithm and all that. And so that was what's great. It was the Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
Sure.
it's still fun, but it takes a lot more.
So you were on TikTok before you moved to Iowa.
Yes.
Did you use TikTok to establish connections when you got to Iowa?
Yeah. So I didn't know anybody super close to where I was moving in Iowa before I took the job. But once I did, and I told people within Farm Talk, somebody reached out and said, "Hey, these people live within like an hour where you're moving." It was Clint and Naomi. And I didn't even follow them at the time. So I followed them and added them. And
You mean Toby?
yeah, back then, yes.
Toby.
I forgot about that. I actually met up with them like the first full day, the day after I moved.
Oh, really?
There's a
'Cause they're not
tractor
far
ride.
from you, right?
No. Now they're even closer because I was in Burlington when I first moved. They're about an hour and a half. And now I live up in Wapello, and they're less than an hour from me now. And they had a tractor ride in their town. Mike Burkhart was there. So that was all first full day in Iowa.
Nice.
That's a good first day.
Yeah.
No wonder you want to stay.
I was exhausted, but it was a good first day.
That's perfect.
So did you have any friends?
Do you have any friends?
Did you have any friends when you moved besides them, like in your town, or you were just like, I'm just gonna go to this place? That's where I'm.
No friends, no family. I thought that it would take me like a year and a half to find a position out here, but I got the first one I applied to, so things moved rather quickly.
Huh. And
I
so-
remember you being scared for me when I said Burlington, and I was like, "It'll be fine," and then I'm like, "Yeah, he might have been right."
Yeah, it's a little rough.
It's a little rough.
It's a little rough.
Yeah.
Around the edges, but
Yeah.
you got a casino.
Yeah,
Right?
and I mean, it was just the easiest place to find somewhere to move that quickly, that far away. And now I still have to work in one of my offices is in Burlington, but I live about a half hour north of there now.
Gotcha. So do you have a lot of friends there now? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made a lot of friends, both TikTok and
I don't
just
believe
in
you.
real life.
I asked that because I mean, I can't imagine moving across the country where no one knows you. You know no
Right.
one.
I feel
Besides
like,
a few TikTokers.
yeah, making adult friends in general is like hard. So
That's fair.
doing it from this far away,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Because
definitely
it's not
have
like,
to put
hey, do you
yourself
want to
out
come
there.
over and stay at my place tonight? My parents said it's okay.
Does Reed have a lot of friends?
Yeah,
See,
but
and
that's new
I just want to bring him up as many times in the show as we can.
because you didn't think you'd need to be.
You know, it's
brought
and
gonna
if
be
it's
terrible.
someone new, we're gonna have to go to Kiowa like 2 months later. It's like it's actually Harry. No, it's you just like
We're gonna
that.
sit in the studio and we're gonna record Harry. So every time we say Reed, you're gonna have to like
Yeah.
Harry.
He's making it sound so bad. After he listens to this, we're like, how many relationships have you been in?
A lot.
Just
Boy,
we're off the rails.
No, this is great. I'm having a good time.
She hasn't been in that many, and it's just been all fun. Like, not serious.
Right.
Nothing serious.
Yeah, she's only been in the ones that we've set her up for. She can't go find someone by herself.
Yeah.
Did you know that toilet paper came from New York?
No.
I didn't either. But when I Googled top things that came from New York, I was expecting to see Jules. And
Does it give you the history? Man. Like, what year?
White New York might not be considered the most hygienic places. Oh, wild, not
this
white.
This is like a rigged election if I'm not on there.
I know.
I feel like chicken wings needs to be on there. Buffalo chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
How do I make that go away now?
Who was the first? Was it Domino's?
Toilet paper was invented in New York in 1857. Before toilet paper, people used newspaper or leaves or the Sears Roebuck catalog.
I feel like it was definitely just like a small restaurant in Buffalo that had the first. Maybe Domino's was the first chain.
Okay.
So
what was that, 1857?
Yeah, upset stomach, diarrhea. What's the brand that I'm...
Ooh, Philadelphia cream cheese. A lot of people think that's Pennsylvania, but there's Philadelphia, New York. And there's a dairy plant there.
Pepto-Bismol.
1857 was when print started to die, when it wasn't used for toilet paper anymore.
When print. I thought you said Prince.
Print.
Like the singer.
No.
I was like, what? He wasn't even alive.
Print.
Pepto-Bismol. Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Until the 1900s, there wasn't anything you could do about it.
What's Norwich?
Where's Norwich?
Right behind Pepto-Bismol.
There's the town.
Maybe that's where it was invented. We're just going to Google stuff and talk about what Tanner Googles.
All right, listen, these are pretty cool things. So a list that pops up: toilet paper, tuxedos, teddy bears, Jell-O, Pepto-Bismol, Scrabble, club sandwich, air conditioning. No way, air conditioning. Air conditioning should have been right, but it should have been invented in the South.
Well, not innovative enough.
1902.
New York.
The air conditioning was not.
Is this because I'm like the third New Yorker on your podcast resorting?
Right.
This is a chance we get to
credit cards. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Kodak cameras. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Click on the camera. I want to see the first camera. Kodak camera. Or does it?
1884.
Wow.
No way.
I suppose.
George Eastman invented something that made photography infinitely easier, the roll of film.
Ah.
Wow.
That
Have you ever taken pictures on a camera with a roll of film?
Yeah.
Oh, I figured
I'm
being
only
30,
a couple years younger than
you. Being 30, you'd never have that experience.
Yeah. I've ruined plenty of rolls of film.
My in-laws found some, like, what did you call them? Disposable cameras. They used to take on...
From when you and Rachel were dating?
No. And they were scared to, like, get a, like, all right, let's... And trying to find a place that does it anymore.
Yeah.
Like Walmart or whatever is hard.
But
But
to mail them away.
it was just a
I've always told that was
trip.
a pretty cool job.
Oh, for sure. Probably see a lot of
gosh.
interesting things.
You have to see all the interesting
Especially
things.
since they weren't the good ones because you didn't get to sort through them before you sent them to print.
Right.
So
Yeah,
not
there
only was
no
there probably risque things, but there's probably bloopers of
Yeah.
that.
Man, think of that. The text message.
And I don't
just
think they're
revolutionized
like.
the nude.
There's no HIPAA in photo printing, I don't think.
Oh, that's funny.
I wonder if they could even. Do they have to look at them? Or does it just like print off and then you just shove it in a little envelope?
Well, there for a while, didn't you have to like put it underneath the liquid and hang it up on a clothesline?
Yeah. I don't think the rolls of films had
Oh.
to do that. Maybe.
Could be. So you use TikTok to connect to a lot of people, which is the same thing that we've done. But have you always had pets?
Yeah.
As a kid, you always have dogs?
Yeah. Always had dogs. Always had bird dogs.
Always bird dogs.
Yeah. Grew up with Brittany's. Always wanted a German short hair. Became an adult. Got a German short hair. And now have a lab too.
So what's the love of dogs? Just you've always had them?
Yeah.
Why bird dogs?
I don't know. I love the personality of them, I guess. Especially since in New York, we don't have any. I mean, we have waterfowl, but we don't have many wild upland birds. So always love the personality of them.
Do you hunt now?
Intelligence, a little bit, yeah.
Do you really? Cool.
Yep.
I shouldn't say that, surprisingly. That was
No, that's fine.
Judgmental.
Yeah, I actually did get my first Iowa bird this year.
Pheasant.
On opening day, pheasant, yeah. And I mean, she went everywhere with me. She went to calf tours every day with me. I was in New York, and
Wow.
yeah.
So did you take the dogs to get your first bird?
No, there was other dogs already slotted for that specific hunt. So
Yeah. It's a little annoying when someone brings their own dogs when there's already like the ones that are supposed to be there. And then usually it's someone that comes and they're like, oh, I got a lab, and they've never been trained in their life, and they're just off running crazy. Don't ask me how I know.
No,
I've never had one. But
Have you seen the conspiracy theory about birds?
birds?
Pigeons specifically?
Yeah, that they're government spies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask the government employee, is that true?
I was gonna say we have that in common. I can't tell you.
And you know the common question to try and debunk it? Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Yeah.
You've seen a baby pigeon?
Not
Yeah.
a barn swallow, like a.
You've seen a baby. You've seen a pigeon that's not a full-grown pigeon.
Actually,
They're in a lab.
maybe it's because they are in a lab because they all start out as homing pigeons, and then they're all the rejects that don't make
Homing
it.
pigeons.
That's big money.
Yeah.
What are you looking for now?
I
Chicken and waffles.
I found another link of stuff that was invented in New York.
Tom
The
Collins.
Waldorf salad.
Coal-fired pizza. I feel like you can't own a pizza that's cooked with something specifically.
The remote control. Nikola Tesla.
Eggs Benedict. I like that.
I do like eggs Benedict. The Bloody Mary.
You know, I've been
General Tso's. How do you say it? Tso's?
Yeah.
General Tso's chicken.
I've been a
That's fine.
big fan of Bloody Marys like most of my life, but it doesn't
Surprised.
sound that appetizing to me anymore.
I'm surprised General Tso's chicken wasn't from
Ooh, the Reuben.
China.
The Reuben's a good one. I'll own that.
The Mr. Potato Head.
I'm gonna bring back hot dogs when I go to New York next month.
So I got to go one of my first trips to Vegas. We stayed in New York. And I didn't realize hot dogs were such a big deal until I stayed at the fake New York hotel in Vegas. And they had Nathan's hot dogs everywhere.
I've stayed there too. But I'm gonna get Hoffman hot dogs when I go back. I think Nathan's it might be a downstate thing.
Oh,
But
a downstate?
Hoffman's
I
is
didn't realize there was a downstate.
You're below us.
a local thing. I got a whole list in the notes section of my phone of things I need to bring back.
For
But
yourself
that
or for
blue
others?
light is one of them.
Yes, you just reminded me. So on my trip to Disney, we went to
Others.
which park was that? It doesn't matter what park it is. It's one with all the different countries. And I told her this. She goes, "You've got to try this beer." And I found it at the Canada portion of the show, and tried it, and it was like a regular light beer, but very flavorful.
It's good. I'm gonna bring some back, and that's what Jason Kelsey was drinking during the Buffalo game during his
Yeah.
big debut when he got out of the suite.
Oh, nice.
So he had shirtless in his hand.
It's a
Claim to fame.
specimen of a man.
It is.
He is.
What makes a hot dog good?
I probably think it's good, and I feel like a lot of things that I think are good from New York because I grew up on it. These are bigger. I don't know, they're more fresh than like a ballpark hot dog.
You like a little girth.
to your hot dog?
These
and
are actually
some
just
length?
long.
Oh,
Yeah, mostly
nice.
length.
It's always
They have these like more white ones too,
Ooh.
called conies or
Okay,
snappy
that sounds
grillers,
racist.
and those are spicy.
This is actually going to lead.
Spicy white hot dog.
This is actually going to lead into the new payoff question that you and Dave
Is a hot dog
invented.
as a sandwich? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Wait,
That's a very Dave question.
Is hot dog a
just
is
so you know, cronuts, which we had in Tulare,
yeah.
they were invented in New York.
Okay.
As well.
But is a hot dog a sandwich?
It's really not the payoff question, but
That's a good one since we're talking about hot dogs.
Yeah,
It is a sandwich.
yeah.
Okay.
because if you constantly pair hamburgers and hot dogs together, isn't that two different sandwiches?
Yeah.
If you take a hot dog and you put it between two slices of bread, that's still a sandwich.
Okay, so
And a lot of times I eat them on plain white bread, so
you do the fold them over?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's a Midwest thing. That's a New Yorkers do that too.
oh yeah.
What else? What goes on it?
I am just a mustard girl.
Just mustard. No
Just
ketchup.
mustard. Nope.
Nothing other fancy.
See, I'm looking forward for my daughter's birthday. We're going to do hot dogs, but I'm also going to make chili. I'm also going to make tavern mix.
Chili dog.
You're gonna make what?
Tavern mix.
Is it like a Chex Mix
It goes,
that you
along
eat in a
with,
tavern?
it goes along with one of his games that he likes to play on.
Hopefully it's
It's just a
better than
Tanner
today's
thing.
game.
Please,
Tanner thing.
please tell me, what do you call tavern mix?
I don't know what tavern mix is. It's just a salty mix of
Chex Mix.
Mix that you eat at the bar
what
to
are
make you drink more.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about? Tavern is a sloppy Joe.
What?
A tavern. It is ground meat.
I told you he's weird.
It is not.
But it's called a sloppy Joe, Tanner.
It is not.
It is definitely it is a sloppy Joe or a made right or a loose meat sandwich. Just because Google is going to tell you that. Okay, do synonyms for taverns. Synonym for tavern sandwich. Synonym.
I was definitely thinking the same thing you
Same,
were,
yeah.
Corey.
Tavern
like
mix,
the
like-
whatever they have there for 25 cents that you can
So a
eat
coney-
to keep you by, so you don't go somewhere that serves.
Okay,
actual
this is
food.
perfect.
So a coney dog is tavern mix on a hot dog. A coney.
Oh, like a chili dog at A&W or something, basically.
That's a chili dog.
No, that's a chili dog.
That's a
A
chili-
chili dog has chili on it. A coney has tavern mix on it.
A tavern mix is like the same thing.
No.
What am I missing? Similar words to tavern is pub, inn, public house, bar, house.
I think the real term
Tap house,
for
ale house, watering hole, local, boozer, or saloon. Nothing about food. Nothing about sandwiches.
the coney that I'm talking about, I think the real term for it is snappy griller, and that's the spicy white dog.
Coney dog. It's just got.
I think that's a Coney
Onions.
Island, yeah.
Oh, coney dog is a hot dog topped with Cincinnati chili,
See?
usually with mustard, chopped onions. A cheesy coney has a final topping of.
See, it's just a fancy chili dog.
It's not. It doesn't have the beans and it's literally ground meat and tavern.
On top of a roll of meat.
So anyway, for the birthday, I'm gonna have the chili and the tavern and the relish and the onions and the mustard and the ketchup and the cheese. So people can go through the line. They can have a regular hot dog and be boring, or they could have like one of each.
So, did you ever make it up to Ames to party after the bar and then come
Get a
out of the
super
bar
dog?
and get a super dog?
Yeah.
I was always so disappointed in them.
It doesn't
You have to
matter.
try it once.
I will. I'm wondering, Tanner, was this your idea theme, or is this the theme your daughter actually wanted?
Oh, she doesn't know what's happening yet.
Okay. that
This is
makes sense.
definitely- This is definitely a
100% makes sense. Why wouldn't we have an adult, crazy chili dog concoction?
There was a place that opened right before I moved in the town I lived in, and they had like specialized hot dogs. And my favorite one was a Hoffman hot dog with Granny Smith apples, caramelized onions, and like sharp cheddar cheese.
That sounds good.
So good.
So,
Did you change the channel yet?
yes. If presented with a hot dog or a brat,
Not Reed's.
Sorry, Dad. Bob will definitely be listening.
I mean, because I feel like this is ultimately challenging you. Because like, if you're a true Packers fan, you're going with a brat.
Is it a cheddar wurst brat or a regular brat?
Is it
You
skinless?
put the top of what
Is it
you
a
would ever
skinless
like
brat?
of your hot dog and brat. Like if it's a cheddar brat with no skin, and if it's a coney dog with tavern mix, whatever.
Taverns are similar to sloppy joes, just not as
Thank you.
tomatoey. I have made these for my church and work potlucks.
Yeah, it's a sloppy Joe.
I'm going with a cheddar wurst brat.
Okay, good. I like that.
Oh my God. The best content of the show came in a debate over tavern mix. I'm kidding. Listen, kidding.
Yeah, that. No, we should stop it there because it literally proves it right there that it's similar to a sloppy Joe.
Right. So why
Everyone
can't you
knows
put
sloppy
a sloppy
Joe.
Joe on top of a hot dog? And
Why change the word?
it's
It's a sloppy Joe. It's just less sloppy.
tavern is the original root word of sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe came after tavern.
How?
That's what I'm saying to defend myself.
I
It
like
doesn't
that
say
the article description is tomatoey.
Oh, tavern 18th century. Look at how old that is. Tavern definitely came first. You just thought the tavern was too sloppy, and you wanted to make fun of Joe.
It says, but in South Dakota, east of the river especially, and then it just goes to blank. Makes you want to click more.
Maybe it's named after the Joe is the town drunk at the tavern.
But in South Dakota, East River especially, it is a synonym for a sloppy Joe.
Thank you.
There it is a faction. People call these a barbecue. Well, they're just weird.
That's wrong.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any listeners in South Dakota anyway.
What do you think about when you think of, we're going to a barbecue?
Oh, I think of like charcoal or smoked food. That is.
I feel like smoked food is a relatively new thing. Like probably the last 15
people have been
years?
smoking meat for
Yes.
years.
But do you ever remember when you were little we're having smoked brisket and some smoked Gouda?
Like before, it was always just pulled pork.
Yeah,
If you're going
that's
to a barbecue.
like
Now I'm
maybe
really,
some chicken.
Yeah, you're right.
hoping for a brisket.
If you went to a
Unless it's
barbecue, it was
done
burgers and hot dogs, maybe some chicken breasts.
I was just
Grilled.
asked my brother the other day. I was like, he brought me some food, and he's like, yeah, it's got I don't know, Havarti cheese or whatever. I'm like, when we grew up, like
We had
it was like Colby and cheddar.
Sliced
no.
American
Yes.
in the wrapper.
Yeah,
Kraft.
yeah,
Kraft
government
singles,
cheese.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I
did. That's
never
what I
had
grew up with.
smoked Gouda, Swiss, Havarti.
But it makes everything better. Like
It's
just your
so
simple
good.
grilled cheese.
But they
Makes
didn't
so
just
much
come up
better.
with that. Were we just that poor?
Oh, I think I was. Yeah.
It was like, and just the simpleness of like the 90s.
Because I didn't realize that there was more cheese beyond Kraft singles until I met my wife.
And then it's like, oh, cheese sticks.
She wouldn't let me eat Kraft singles anymore. I was still making my peanut butter, egg, and cheese sandwiches with Kraft singles.
You know what I thought made you really bougie when I was growing up? This is off topic, but
There's nothing off
a
topic.
laundry chute. I thought that was the bougiest
I had
thing.
a
It's
laundry
just a hole in the floor.
Yeah, but if
Maybe
you
some
went
pipe.
if you went
Mine
to
was
your
a-
parents or your friend's house and their parents had a laundry
Like,
chute,
this is fancy.
See,
it's
I grew
like,
up with
bro,
one.
those guys are
I even had a
rich.
door. I even had a door in the hallway. You open the door, threw your laundry down it,
It
magically
was just
got
for that.
washed.
It wasn't a closet or a utility room or
No.
anything.
No.
Wow.
High class. And it
They
was
had
like a
real hot
magic.
dog buns too.
It was magic because his clothes would come back washed. Clean.
Here's the problem with the laundry chute though, is it goes down and it has to come back up.
Right. There's no suction up one.
Yeah,
that
it's
would
like
have been way
now
more
the clothes are
fancy.
washed and dried. Now I gotta pick these back up and fold them and do all that.
That was pretty much the extent of my childhood. Is I would go pick up the clean laundry off the table, the laundry table, which is where everything got folded,
Yep.
and bring it back up to my room. But outside of that, now I do all the laundry for our house. So it's like I got penalized for not doing anything for 18 years of my life, and now I do it all for the rest of my life.
I'm glad you do that.
Now that I think about it, we always had like first floor laundry growing up, so that's probably why we didn't have a chute.
I know. I thought you were talking about it because you did have a laundry.
No,
chute.
I went over to a friend's
Yeah, you
house
go
and
to
they
your
had
friend's
like a
house.
raised ranch, so it went down into the basement, and I thought it was
Mama
so
Lynn,
fancy.
look at that. We were bougie.
Yeah.
Now go look up bougie, and I don't know how to spell
Yeah.
it either.
Bougie, I think. But like, yeah, you see someone do that, and you're like, wait, where did you put those? And you go downstairs like, oh, throw it in. I want to watch it come down.
I think we would throw random stuff down
Yeah,
there, too, like
most
tennis
entertaining
balls and stuff. for
Laundry
sure.
would ever be. But that's probably when you first noticed that people did laundry.
It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was great addition, but the transition that I was trying to go for, we were talking about taverns, which is the right way to determine a sloppy Joe, is Corey and Dave came up with our new payoff question. What has been the best thing you have ever eaten, and where do you get it?
It's great because I guarantee you she prepared for the other question. Being a super fan like she is, and now she's like, oh,
Super fan.
shit.
Okay, so while you think about that, listeners, we love you a lot. Please go out wherever you can find us. Leave us 5 stars, hit subscribe, send it to your family and friends. We appreciate everything that you do for us. We can't have this show without you, and want you to know sincerely we say thank you for doing all of that. And now we're going to let you know where Jules got her favorite thing she's ever eaten and what it was.
This is going to sound bad because it's not in Iowa.
Oh, believe me, I've got a
That's
worse
fine.
joke that I was going to make, and anything you say is going to
Guarantee
be
you
better
had
than
something
the
to do with
joke.
race.
Was it a brat joke?
It was not a brat joke. It was a joke your dad can't hear.
He can hear. It's fine. It was fried cheese curd at the Cottage Inn in Copenhagen, New York. Is like the thing I always go back to get when I'm home, and it's so good. And they have the best sauces for it. It's the best fried cheese curd because it's like a very thin, like outside layer. It's not even like breading, so it's just a lot of cheese, and it's all like first day cheese curd from dairy farmers
squeak?
in that county that I used to work with. Sometimes they'll even squeak fried. Like they're that
Wow.
fresh. I actually used to maybe purposely schedule a producer that I knew delivered his cheese curd to that bar because I knew when he did his round of cheese curd deliveries to grocery stores and stuff, he always made the bar his last stop around lunchtime.
Smart.
He would drop off cheese curd. He would have an order of fried cheese curds and beer. So I was scheduled for like 1 o'clock. And then he'd have a couple extra bags, room temperature, sitting in the passenger seat of his truck to bring in for us.
Perfect.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I do think the sauce makes the cheese curd.
Holy crap.
The sauce.
Sorry, we're watching an Iowa State game.
I was still intently focused on Jules.
You need to watch this because this guy just throws this up hoping someone was going to come dunk it, and then he does.
Okay, so we'll have to end this show, but your lightly breaded cheese curd reminds me of my favorite type of onion rings.
You can't think. You can't think. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The shoestring onion rings are my favorite onion rings.
Those are so good.
And I would say for both onion rings and cheese curds, the sauce makes them.
Yeah.
Like when I have more than just a ranch or ketchup, it is mind-blowingly different.
Yes. My favorite sauce there is sweet Thai chili sauce. Oh. So good on cheese curd.
Now that we're hungry, we're going to have to order pizza from a not a sponsor yet.
We were up in Wisconsin last week, and we had to get cheese curds at least once. Gosh, they just do it differently. It's good.
I wish I could bring them back from home to show people how good they are.
Well, they
but,
can't get through TSA?
but it's not the same because if I like have to go get it the day before I leave and then drive all the way back, and then it doesn't give the full effect.
You should try it, though.
I might try.
Or, like, next day it to us.
You just got an email from a sponsor, Corey. I can't wait to read that.
I did?
Yep. You know
You don't have
exactly who I'm talking about.
I didn't watch it pop up, so no, I don't. But
Okay.
huh?
Jules, thank you.
Thank
Do you golf? Do you golf?
I golfed one hole last year for the first time. We had a
We
work
don't-
outing, and I just drove my boss around on the golf cart, but I did
Okay.
do one hole.
'Cause
But I want
we
to
don't-
do more this year. I'm
We
going
don't
to try.
have the ceiling protection in yet, so maybe we shouldn't let you golf.
Okay,
Yeah,
coming from
I'll
the
come
guy
back.
that put the first ball on the ceiling. The guy that has a handicap. And I haven't
Yes,
put one in yet.
Clearly, my handicap is hitting balls into the ceiling.
So we're going to stop this, and we're going to go golf a couple virtual holes and watch the Iowa State, South Dakota State game.
That's right. Nothing like time stamping an episode that comes out in May.
Planting
Well, we
went
already
swell.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't dry at
Yeah,
all.
we never did. Yeah, let's give
We got
our,
a timely rain every week.
Yeah, as we go, let's all give our planting predictions. You're going now.
Oof. I'm just going to put it out there.
Are
We're
we
going to
done?
manifest.
Are we done right now?
We're done.
Okay, that's a bold
We're
statement.
done.
Okay.
Just by a couple days. And I just want to manifest this out there. So we got perfectly good timing, rains, good soak, not too hard, up until it was go time, and everything just went swell.
See, I'm looking at the forecast, and I
Where
think,
is the price of corn and soybeans?
oh, Jesus. Do you want perspective for today?
No.
We're at like 430 front month corn, I think 430.
What I'm really worried about
May
is this
was-
whole year is going to be the perfect shit
May
storm.
closed
But I'm just trying to manifest it out
440.
there.
440. Okay.
May closed 440. December corn closed 475. 476.
Am I realistic or am I manifest?
December corn.
If we had the perfect planting season, like you said, then it should be lower.
Yeah.
Don't worry, nobody's listening now anyway, so you can say whatever you want to. That's not true. Actually, I just pulled up the statistics today. 66% of our audience is still listening.
I'm gonna say we're at 475.
You're going to say we're at where we're supposed to be? So my prediction is we don't get to go as early in the Midwest as we were anticipating because those Farm for Profit listeners are not putting cold corn seeds in the ground.
Okay.
Soybean planting got an early start, but by now, guys are half done planting their corn.
Ooh.
And because of that, we are at 490 for December corn prices.
Okay. I'm going to go with we had an early window, but some frost came in and nipped some stuff
You
because we had
suck.
such a deal. So
Nobody's
we
gonna
do
like
see
you.
December
I'm not
corn.
gonna.
So we do see December corn at $5. Hopefully it was in Nebraska.
I've got a vacation in June that I need to have a lot of my crop reported by then is the goal. So
Really, the CIA does that?
yeah.
Yeah.
They send me on vacation.
No, they make you report upon crops. All right, we got to
crazy,
end
right?
this because I have missed everything, and this looks like a fun game.
We're
to
up
watch.
17-3. That's
Okay.
a good start.
All right, thank you so very much.
Thanks, guys.
Hopefully you had fun.
I did.
I had fun. Clearly, I told you we were going to stop before the game started.
Yeah.
And I was having so much fun, we didn't stop yet. So,
Writing your thesis on New York State.
Googling it.
all right, Corey,
Chat GPT.
send us out.
Oh crap! I'm out of Bush Light. Crack a Bush Light. You deserve it. There. Oh yeah, you got it all over the table.
It's right.
Wow.
That's